Troop production.
Every relationship goes through 3 stages. The first is falling in love, where everything is rosy, magical, and spectacular. The second is adjustment, where the rose-colored glasses come off and you start to see your partner's true colors, and the challenges begin. If you get through that adjustment stage well, beautiful love is consolidated, but if not, couples usually end up with heartbreak, breakups, infidelity, and many other things. To discuss these stages and hear from someone with first-hand experience, I invited Jimena Longoria. Welcome, how are you?
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here with you.
Likewise,
And for the therapy.
it'll be therapy for us and everyone else.
Exactly.
We hope to contribute a lot. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Because also, what we're going to talk about today, I know you've experienced it all with many ups and downs. And honestly, I feel that the people who listen to us are really going to relate to you and your story. So if it's okay with you, let's start with falling in love.
Oh, the most beautiful part?
Oh, how beautiful. At least while it lasts, right?
But it's beautiful. It brings back good memories too.
It's beautiful. Have you always been a flirt?
I haven't dated much, but I fall in love easily.
Oh, really?
Well, I used to believe back then, when I was younger, well, even younger because I still feel young, that I found love all the time. I always felt like I was super in love, and I'm really into romance. My Prince Charming and how wonderful. But really, when I met my husband, that's when it was like
Something different?
This is so strange.
Hey, before you tell us that story, which I know is great, why do you think you were so quick to fall in love? Why did you see your Prince Charming in every frog you met?
Maybe not in every frog, but I was missing something emotionally. I felt like I was searching for. I had a lot of insecurities, like physical ones. So maybe having a partner or having someone who reminds you of it all the time. Well, I used to say, oh no, my Prince Charming, but I really realized that I was just feeling that emptiness.
I mean, you were looking for someone to validate that you were pretty, that you were loved, that you were worth it, right?
Yes. And if they tell me, yes, how pretty, I already want to change. No, how? Then I realized it was because of the huge insecurity I had.
Okay, was it for something in particular? Something you went through? Or was it just because of competition with other women? Because I know Monterrey, for example, where you're from, wow, it's intense, huh? The competition is tough there, right? Each one dresses more elaborately than the other, one more.
Look, I can say that I'm not your typical woman from Monterrey.
Okay.
Not me. Honestly, I've never been like, oh, let me do it. Never. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I go everywhere and all that. But I've always, well, actually, I grew up and started having eating disorders since I was very young, very young. So I think that, well, obviously my insecurities go along those lines.
Okay. And why the eating disorders?
Well, I think it's more than that. What can I say? Well, family related.
Uh-huh.
Growing up, hearing comments from my grandma, from my mom, my sister, it's always been a topic, always, how many calories is it? How much and what are we eating? Make sure it's not breaded or anything similar. So I think that growing up in a world like that
filled you with guilt?
It affected me exactly.
Okay. And then, more or less, you become someone who falls in love easily because you were looking for this person to come and fill gaps, to fill emptiness, to validate that you were pretty. And how were your relationships coming in through that door? Before you met your husband, how were your relationships coming in that way? Were they healthy or did they become a little toxic?
They were very healthy because, well, I was in my comfort zone. Like with everyone, it was like, yes, nice to meet you. I'm the pretty one. How cool. So I was super comfortable and I was doing really well. But then I started to realize things. As I matured, I started to heal. Therapies, psychologists, which I've always said, going to a psychologist isn't for crazy people, it's for really brave people. So when I started to heal a little by little, I realized that, when I ended a relationship, I would forget about it really quickly. It was bye, okay, bye. And the next day, maybe I would cry for a day because I was already used to it, but then bye. I never had contact with anyone again, never. So I said, maybe, so I really confirmed I'm filling voids that maybe someone else will fill.
Okay.
Not that specific one.
So you would fall in love and enjoy it to the fullest?
Happy.
But being from Monterrey, Mexican, a woman, all the stereotypes together, didn't you already see yourself dressed in white with every boyfriend?
Well, I think we all do. I mean, even since we were 12 years old. Oh no, yes, of course, in white leaving my house and me, you know? I think the dream is always there. And I also, since I was little, and when I played being a mom, carrying my baby dolls and all that, but I think the dream was always there.
It was always there?
Always. Not because of the person, but the dream of wearing white, you know?
Of course, okay? So, infatuation, basically, we all know, I think it's something addictive, beautiful, rose colored.
Beautiful.
The toad becomes a prince, the prince appears even more princely, and everything is perfect.
Exactly.
Everything flows. But suddenly we reach a stage where adjustments come in. Right now, we're going to talk about these adjustments when it comes to your boyfriends, because there are always some, right? And it's one of the reasons why friction starts to happen a bit. Before we get to how you met your husband, what's your husband's name?
Wally?
Wally, yes, that's right. And, well, the real adjustments. Because dating is not the same as when you start building a family together. Do you agree?
Exactly.
So, what was it? I mean, what took away that feeling of being in love during a relationship? What disappointed you? What killed the excitement with your boyfriends?
Maybe, I mean, this is the first one that comes to mind, right? But like, oh, are you going to eat all that? But let me tell you something. Now I understand that it was never about judging. It was more like, oh, well, if you don't want it, give it to me, you know? I mean, I always took it as a, because I look terrible or what? When really he was still hungry. And well, if you're not going to eat it, give it to me. Or if you're going to finish it, order another one. X. But, well, I saw it like, oh, I don't like it anymore. I don't want it anymore. I don't want it. And well, obviously, if you have that issue, like it's you're vulnerable about that, well, you take it a little more personally.
And that happens a lot nowadays, Kimi. As soon as the relationship gets a little complicated or starts to mirror our own wounds. Because you started by saying, I had issues with food, and he tells me that phrase that maybe had nothing to do with what I imagined. But it touched my wound. Before it keeps hurting me, I'd rather see him as a toad. I don't want him anymore. Goodbye, on to the next one, and I jump to another crush, from crush to crush, without getting to the part where things get serious.
No, and besides, whether you like it or not, I also have my own personality. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to start crying. No, it was like, what? Bye. And the ego, you know, and it got to me, and maybe he didn't even notice.
Yeah, he probably didn't even.
Because it wasn't really a fight, just something normal that I kept inside.
And what? Did you stop talking to them? Did you stop responding to them?
I was colder, letting the relationship cool off, or
I mean, your defense mechanism made you detach, and no. You might say, I'm not interested or don't like it anymore.
what do you want for dinner? Well, lettuce, I want. Water, I want water. You know? Like I would get really defensive.
Yeah, okay. So when does Wally arrive? Because even though it's like, let's say, so picky or so stuck up and anything can ruin, yeah, a crush. How did you meet him and what makes you say, well, I'll stay here even though he pushes certain buttons? Tell me from 0 to 100.
Let's see. Wally came into my life at a moment, I think at the best moment of my life, mentally and emotionally. I was basically just coming out of, I was just recently discharged from inpatient treatment for an eating disorder.
Okay, I mean,
I was hospitalized for 3 months and so on. After many individual and group therapies, getting to know myself, and finally being discharged because I finally started to see good things in myself. I didn't need approval. I'd look in the mirror and say kind things to myself. So when I met Wally, I was already very strong emotionally. I already saw beautiful things in myself that maybe before in my life I never saw. So when I met him, I remember that the first time I saw him, muscles, tight shirt, really fit. He stood out talking to everyone. And at that moment, I felt not insecurity, but more like he's not my type. Why? Because, well, I used to feel secure with guys who were a bit chubbier so I could feel better or, I don't know, mental stuff. Maybe I used to say he's not my type because, well, besides being muscular, why would he even notice me? That was my mindset before, right? And I thought that and I was like, why did I think that? Like, no, it doesn't make sense. When he saw me, I caught his attention, but we were never in love. It was more like, oh, this loud girl, oh, this one, or something like that. We started getting along really well.
where did you meet?
In a radio booth, we were in a broadcasting course at MBS in Monterrey. I lived in Mexico City for 5 years. then returned to Monterrey for my internship and stayed there afterward. So I met him. He asked for my phone number. He said, "Hey, tonight we're going to the club. It's Halloween, so dress up." And I was like, "No, I can't. Why? I actually could, right?" "But no, I can't." Saying I can't made me feel secure. From then on, we never stopped talking.
Okay, so you already liked her or had some friendship or connection, but you were resisting, from what I can tell.
At first, he was my friend and would say, "She's my friend." Why? Because, well, he liked athletic girls. I'm not his type. He wasn't my type either because he was muscular, so we were totally opposites. He was all about the gym, and I wasn't at all. He liked to eat steam food, and I was like, "I want my burger." I mean, we were super different. And one day, he went on a trip, and we realized we couldn't stop talking to each other. You know, like, "Oh, sorry, I fell asleep. Oh, I stopped replying. Oh, I'm sorry," and things like that. And then one day, he said to me, like, "Hey, what are we?" And I was like, "Well, nothing."
And there hadn't been any kissing or holding hands.
Nothing. He once sort of tried, but it was just a quick bye, nothing more. So he says to me, "You know what? Well, if we're nothing, then bye."
He had some intention but never said it.
Exactly.
Okay,
Not from the start, it developed with the friendship.
okay.
When he said, "If we're nothing, then bye," I just said bye. We had movie plans, but instead I told him I'm going to eat with friends.
You were already an expert at that, right?
"Well, bye. We'll talk about it tomorrow." And well, okay, goodbye. I'm going to eat with some friends. And I was telling them, "Hey, so I met this guy. It's so funny. I had been talking to him for a long time, and it was like, what are we?" I froze and told him nothing. "So what's his name?" "Wally." "That's funny. Where's he from?" "Here, blah, blah, blah." "Oh, once I went to a wedding with him. I thought he was great. And another time I went on a date with him. Hey, he's so much fun." And I was like, "We just started dating. We just started dating." Yesterday I texted him, "We're going to the movies, right?"
I mean, did it bother you that they said that to you?
I got upset. And then I even said, "Well, maybe I'm not seeing something."
Uh-huh.
I mean, if two people really close to me saw something so beautiful and so great, and I had already seen so many good things, maybe I was just missing something, something. Well, I said, well, I have absolutely nothing to lose.
I want to pause here for a moment to understand why women rely so much on what their friends tell them to decide whether or not to keep seeing someone. Because for me personally, sometimes things went well, like for Wally, but other times everything was going great. Honestly, I had my single days, I had my fun, I flirted, and I broke a few hearts. I admit it, just like.
Yes, yes, yes.
But when I really wanted something serious with someone and I was doing things right and everything was going well, suddenly I'd get a message at some point saying, "Johnny."
I've thought it over.
And it always had to do with a friend telling her something bad about me. What's up with that?
Well, I mean, look, I think it's also not just about relationships. If someone tells you 15 people tell you you look beautiful and one tells you you look bad and you look bad, I mean, your mind sees you as bad and it affects you a lot. One comment, whether it's negative or very positive.
As the saying goes, a falling tree makes more noise than 100 growing.
A white wall, a black stain, you're going to see the black stain. So I think that's what happens. But in this case, there were two really good comments. I thought, are they going to take it away from me or not? He asked me yesterday, what are we?
But look, Jime, okay, it bothers you. They give you the opportunity. They turn on the light for you, but were you attracted to him?
No, of course, let's see. It was when, I was still in therapy, right? I started going to therapy with my psychologist and everything to say, why do you shut down right away? He's not my type. No, he likes me. No, we're nothing. No, we're just friends. So I started to take down that shield, that barrier, and I began to see things differently. When he asks, what are we? I quickly put up a shield and say, we're nothing, just friends. Mm-hmm. But then when you start to analyze things, plus my friend's comments, it was like, wait, he did ask me yesterday what we are? I mean, like, why not? Why block me?
Uh-huh.
No, I don't understand. So I texted him, like, are we going to the movies today? And he was like, well, okay, let's go. And he kind of understood because I told him, oh, I was with so-and-so. Oh, they're really nice, really sweet, and your friends. And like, look how funny it is that they're your friends. I told him no, but I'd already told them we were dating. He said, yesterday you told me no. And I said, now I told them yes. And he says to them, and I was like, oh, well, I'm letting you know. I mean, just so you know that, yes, we are dating. And that's it. The laughter ended. And he understood
that they were officially dating. Now, how much do you think your initial resistance had to do with, which we've kind of already mentioned, but with the fact that he, being an athlete and the type of women he used to date and all that stuff, he was going to push you to keep growing to the next level? After all the emotional and eating struggles you went through, how much did it really touch that wound or that sensitive part of you again when someone brought it up?
I think that's when I felt the most confident physically, having him remind me every day because he wanted to, like, oh, you're so pretty. Oh, you look beautiful. Oh, I don't know what. And he was also breaking patterns.
Okay.
He realized that he tried many times with several people and said, no, that's not it. It's not about looks. It's something deeper. I mean, if I want something real, I need to look at everything, not just one thing. And he was also, maybe I was on this extreme of insecurities, of feeling bad and all that, but he was on the other extreme too. Too much exercise, too much, I don't know, I can't eat fat, I can't eat.
Which probably comes from the same origin.
Exactly. So we found a perfect balance between our minds, our way of eating, and our way of being able to exercise together. But, well, calm down, I'm already tired, I'm gonna sit down for a bit, I don't want to anymore today, I don't wanna go. So, on our first official date, he took me to a mountain to climb. He almost had to carry me with a crane, right? With a crane. But I also said, well, why am I complaining about this?
Uh-huh.
Who wanted it? I think we all wanted someone to motivate us to exercise and try something new. And that's when I started to see things like, I'm starting to like it.
Did you change your perspective?
Well, yes. I mean, look, right now I can tell you that I don't go to the gym. Not at all.
Yeah, but...
He asked me daily, will you come with me? Not today, maybe tomorrow. We've been together almost 8 years, right? I promise, my love, maybe tomorrow. But he doesn't pressure me, he motivates me, he pushes me to be a better person. He understands my mind.
And he accepts you?
He accepts me. But let's be honest, communication has been part of our relationship. I know he has insecurities, but you need to tell me because I don't understand.
Of course, and we're just about to get there and just to enter this adjustment stage, which is the big filter in relationships. Jime, let's just wrap up by saying that being in love usually feels like something very bubbly between us, right? But from the story you're telling me, I have to ask you, did it feel the same? Or was that feeling of being in love a little calmer? I mean, or did you suddenly feel like you were already in a rosy world with him?
It was different. It felt real, not like a soap opera.
Okay, more aware?
I mean, like, worry about him, care about how he's doing, be thoughtful instead of taking it for granted. Like, well, that's it. I'm here. I'm with him. I'm happy. I'm in love. I'm with him. It was, hey, how are you? I cared about everything he did tell me. What are you doing? So I think it was very different and more, well, more real.
Okay, and I love that because it gives us a chance to remind everyone listening to us that being in love is wonderful and we shouldn't fight against it. People now often say love is fleeting and view that negatively, but being in love isn't the enemy. Just don't stop observing, being aware, watching yourself, and getting into a relationship for the right reasons. Because you really want to start something with that person and not just because it felt nice, because if not, that feeling goes away and when the adjustments come, problems start.
Just imagine, let me finish up quickly. I used to search for my soulmate, find them, and we were a perfect match. But with Wally, my husband, I was already complete and so was he, so it was like we complement each other perfectly.
And here I want you please to tell us. Because many women and men too, without a doubt, believe they are complete beings and that they deserve everything just by existing. Guys, it's not like that. I mean, we are beautiful beings, but we are constantly evolving and we have to fill certain gaps and shortcomings that we have, or wounds to heal and things to truly be complete, not perfect, and then enter a level where we play or interact with that kind of people as well. Can you tell us a little bit about how that part was for you? We already know that you went through an issue with the disorder that you overcame and so on, but at what moment did you say, now I feel like a different person? Or what things beyond the disorder did you really have to work on within yourself to say, now I truly feel complete?
I was no longer seeking approval. I was no longer looking for, look, as I've always said, the emotional disorder, the eating disorder is a process and it doesn't just go away. You need to work on it daily, go to therapy, and accept that some days are good, others bad. So being able to talk and communicate to your partner about how your mind works, that helps me a lot. So one day I wake up and I feel empowered and my love lets go and it's so exciting. And then suddenly I wake up like this, you look gorgeous. I think that being able to communicate it means we're on the same page, that he understands I have really good days, that please bring me back down to earth because right now I'm like, don't talk to me. I'm the most beautiful woman in the world. But on other days, please encourage me. So when he's on that same wavelength of communication, he empowers me too. He empowers me by understanding that I have good days and bad days. But that's when I said the person I needed has arrived.
Uh-huh.
And maybe I was looking for them for so long, but without really searching. Like, I would tell myself I'm here, already happy, but actually no.
And then you start this relationship with Wally a little more consciously.
More consciously?
More mature, more,
And besides, we were 31.
Yeah, right.
You already know what you don't want?
Yeah, a little.
No, I mean, so
In the best case, because we have people, friends and all, who are 40 and they still don't know.
yes, totally. But I don't want a person like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. I know this person. Well, they don't have this. Well, now let's get to know them.
That's why it's really important, like I said, to observe yourself, observe the results you had in your relationship, see what you liked, what you didn't like, what part you played in those results, and see how you can improve, right?
Exactly. And what can you accept?
Exactly.
Because nobody is perfect.
Nobody.
So you weigh the pros and cons. And if the pros outweigh the cons, then I just adapt to those cons.
Yeah, if there are things you can actually work on or that don't really affect you that much.
Pick your battles.
Exactly. However, those battles,
Are battles
how they are,
or wars?
yes, how tough they are. Because when you enter a conscious, mature relationship, that's really not just going to be a couple months of dating. You embark on a deep journey of self-discovery
Yes.
and to support the other person on their journey. And you start building a big project that requires a lot of effort, a lot of discipline, a lot of commitment. And then come the adjustments, the difficult conversations, those things that you realize maybe without the rose-colored glasses you don't really love anymore, or the typical mistake of everyone wanting to change the other person or their friends. So, what challenges or adjustments did you start having with Wally? When did you realize we need to talk about this?
I think he has more issues with me than I do with him.
Oh, really?
Yes, but I mean, starting from simple things like, honey, please, if you open something, don't leave the trash here. The trash can is right there. The trash can is right there. That drives him crazy. And I'm like, I'll do it in a minute. I'll throw it away in 3 minutes. So, little by little, instead of fighting about it, he chooses his battles. Sometimes he just walks by and says, and throws it away. So, I think those kinds of things, he's very organized, very structured, everything in order. He makes the bed. And I'm like, later, we're going to go back to sleep. Leave it like that for a little while. So with him, I've improved in that aspect because it's not a bad thing. So I think I've improved in that aspect. I learned to choose our battles also, to put on the table the things that he is changing for me, or things that he is. It's just that I don't want to say putting up with for me, but well, that he is.
Being patient with you
Exactly.
in your process?
Exactly. So I won't get mad if I suddenly see the oatmeal spoon outside because, well, we're a team and we're supporting each other in everything. But as for a big change like that, right now I just don't have the headspace for it.
For example, what you said about we're a great team. How do you realize that you work as a team and not just as father and daughter or mother and son? How do you notice you're truly a team?
In decisions, in everything from well, the house decisions,
Are discussed, are coordinated?
everything. Even when he might not have to ask me about some things, sometimes he tells me, I also need your approval as my partner, as a team, and as myself too.
That many men out there would think that consulting their wife makes them less of a man.
It's not even about permission. It's not like, hey, can I? Of course not. It's, I don't know. I don't know what example to give. But consulting about it is a kind of, if we mess up, it's together. If we get it right, it's together because we both made a decision. It's not going to be just one person's thing. Like, why did you sell that? Or why did you do that?
Totally, you're both getting into it together and something important. Well, I practice it a lot in my relationship, and I consider that I practice a healthy masculinity.
Uh-huh.
Because it doesn't make me less of a man to consult my wife, and I still have the same responsibilities and everything. But I ask you because I think it's going to reflect you in a more faithful or clearer way. That's the word, than anyone else, because she's living the same thing as you,
Totally.
right? Besides, they're going to the same place, at least in theory.
Yes, 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 yes.
And I open up my numbers to him. I tell him sometimes when we're doing badly, sometimes when we're doing well. And we discuss everything. And I've always pushed for us to talk things over because I feel like I really got involved in wanting to build a team.
That
But a lot of people go into it as father and daughter or mother and son, and they feel less like men or less like women if they change that. So, in general, how do you practice these day-to-day conversations to feel more empowered when you talk about it rather than feeling submissive?
we're also a couple that talks about everything. I have friends who tell me, I don't know how much my husband makes. I don't know if, and I know even less. I tell him half of what I earn and spend the rest without asking him. And for us, it has worked. It's not about being right or wrong. It's just that talking about it has worked for us. It's not like I mean, if I want to go buy something, I don't ask for permission. But honey, there are some sandals. You have no idea. Look at them. Oh, they're amazing. Or like, seriously, they're your style, really? Ah, well, go for it. But it's together. It's not permission. He's never going to say no to me. It's the same for him. Like, hey, honey, I wanted to do this at work. I wanted to buy this. I'm going to make a transaction for I don't know what. What do you think? I'm not going to change his mind, but he wants to hear my opinion. I think that's totally valid, and I think that's what being a team is for me, because if something goes wrong, it's not like, well, it's both our fault. But it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. There are no surprises. It's transparent. We're a team. For me, the team is essential.
And also, the team, by definition, needs complicity, coordination. And if you live in a world of little lies, like I don't tell them how much I make, they don't tell me, or I only tell half, you're automatically distancing the relationship and you live. There's a triangle in Scientology that says the better the communication, the greater the shared reality, and that creates greater affinity. If we see the same thing, we'll be more in tune than if each of us sees a different reality. So if you live in a world where you're lying or hiding things from your partner, you're going to feel little affinity. You'll feel like they're more of an enemy than an ally. On the other hand, when you both are seeing the same reality and you built it together between your perspective and mine or your partner's, then we see the same thing and we feel like a team working toward the same goal.
Look, before we get married, you know there are those talks at church and all sorts of talks. There was one we had that said if we hide things, like if I only tell him half of what I earn, or if he only tells me half, that's financial infidelity. That's where we heard about it and wondered if it was real. They confirmed it, saying it's not just lying, it's financial infidelity because you're, well, I don't know, I'm being faithful to that, I don't know.
There's a kind of betrayal.
It's a kind of betrayal. Exactly. And I think every relationship is different. Every relationship works differently. And I like our dynamic because you talk about it. There are people who are afraid to talk about money, about anything, and there's nothing worse than not talking about it.
Agreed.
Well, just imagine Wally, he's from Monterrey, you know, the macho type. He loves to spoil me, to pamper me, to take care of me, but we're too transparent, so I see it as if we're in the same boat. Wally's the one who's always like, here, the electricity, the house, this, that. But I always turn to him and say, my love, whatever happens, I'm here because I work too and I'll jump in for you, so I'll be here. You know? So he's like, you take care of your things, you save, you take care, save up, whatever you want, right? He knows as a team, I'll step in if anything happens. His ship won't sink because I'm here.
And I love that, Jime, because look, we're talking about two people who become strong individually. Both are fulfilled, they work, they take care of themselves, they watch what they eat, everything we've already talked about, and together they become even stronger. So it's like My love, if you stumble, I'm here, I trust you, and I let you lead. In certain areas, me in others, but if you stumble there or I stumble, we're there for each other. That's incredible because today, Jime, sadly, the opposite happens a lot. In many relationships, it's I do things and I can't do something because this person doesn't allow me and limits me, or I do things and he does too, but we compete instead of complementing each other.
Exactly.
How do you handle, or how did it happen that you were able to be a fulfilled, successful woman, recognized on television and so on, without ceasing to be that person? Also at home, with your children, with your husband.
I think Wally has always let me be myself. He's also let me make decisions. And I know that much of what I've achieved is thanks to him being with me, supporting me. I'm more like, no, I don't think I would dare. But my love, go for it. Do you want to quit here? Quit. Go over there and jump. You can do it. You're amazing. So I think maybe I wouldn't be where I am now. Whether it's a lot or a little without him,
And does that make you less of a woman?
no. On the contrary, and it's the same for him. He turns to me and says, no way. Since he met me, he started with social media, and then things started going really well for him. Now brands are looking for him, and he tells me, but it was thanks to you. And I'm like, no, it was also thanks to you, because I can introduce you on social media, but if you're not good at it, then goodbye. So I think we both know that we help each other grow together. It's never like, well, oh, I've grown too much. No, it's together.
Of course, he's not any less of a man for seeking your advice.
Never.
You're not less of a woman for also going at your own pace. Or acknowledging that thanks to what he also provides, you can play with more security.
Yes, and I also think that we are so connected that so close that if he says, I'll just say, my love, you know what? Currently, we need to tighten our belts due to these expenses. So we're cutting back. It's not about what's mine or saved. We just have to manage with what we have. No, it's teamwork. The decision was made, my love. Okay, today we tighten our belts.
However, if he asked you for everything you have saved,
I trust him with my eyes closed.
I love it.
With my eyes closed.
I love it. Now, how do you bring up things when they're sensitive topics? I mean, really complicated for you in your own inner world? How do you recommend, or rather, how has it worked for you to bring up a tough topic? The classic, honey, we need to talk, but how do you do it?
There's always a moment. There are always spaces that I think we have to push ourselves to do it. I don't know. We have some days like our card game day. Or my love, oh, hey, tomorrow let's have dinner so we can talk. So I think you kind of set the mood, the place so you can talk and no one is on the defensive. If it's something really serious, I don't know, something. But I think preparing the ground.
What if you don't have time to prepare in your daily life with kids and everything else?
I'm really into writing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But was it a letter or WhatsApp?
WhatsApp?
Oh, really?
Sometimes he's next to me.
Oh, really?
Yes.
But when you write it, don't you feel something's missing, don't you?
Nope.
Why?
I mean, look, sometimes he's next to me, right? And I cry a lot.
Okay.
Whether I'm angry, whether I want to cry, so like I don't really know how to express myself properly or everything I want to say.
Through spoken language?
Exactly.
Okay.
So he's next to me and I'm like this. So then, well, I start writing. I'm good at writing.
Okay.
What I feel, right? So, and I send it. And sometimes he's watching a show and I'm like, isn't his phone ringing? And well, sometimes I fall asleep or sometimes I just turn over while But when he finally sees it, he already knows everything I feel and he really knows how to talk very well. He grabs my hand and I know that's when the conversation will start.
Okay.
So then it's like, hey, but tell me, why do you feel that way? Because I don't know, but now I know absolutely everything. I won't miss anything anymore. I won't forget anything anymore. But that's my way of communicating usually. I'm better at writing.
I mean, with that, you open the door. And from what I see, Wally has the ability to support you, to ask you questions, to enter your world, to empathize with you.
Uh-huh.
And when it's him who needs to talk, how does he do it?
No, I mean, he's direct.
Oh, really? Does he tell you things like that?
Hey, you know what? I was thinking. And I'm like, what? Wait, let me find the diaper. Hold on.
And you who feel so much, who are so sensitive, how do you handle it when someone says something unexpected?
Many times I cry.
Okay.
Not because it's something bad, but just I'm just too sensitive.
Uh-huh.
I really like the way he approaches any topic. He's very empathetic. He knows that if he's going to say something that might make me feel a little bad, it's like he knows how to approach me or how to ask me so I don't get defensive because I also have my own personality.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he already knows it completely.
Okay.
Or sometimes it also works to just write to each other.
Did you always know it, or was it more trial and error?
No, it was trial and error.
In the settings?
Yes, because you see, if we are people with a very strong character, sometimes we clash too.
Uh-huh.
And what happens when the other person is right? You get defensive and you get angry. Or if it's like you always leave everything lying around, that's not true. I'm getting angry because they're right.
Yes.
So I think that being so similar, we had to find a way to communicate if we wanted to move forward in this relationship and take things to the next level.
Hey, Jime, they say that when there's a complicated problem, the couple tends to grow closer.
Yes.
As long as, of course, there are solid foundations. When there aren't, it turns into chaos and the opposite happens. I know you went through something very difficult, that for you it was an episode, and for him too, very difficult, which was losing a baby. What was that experience like, and how did you manage not to let go of each other and get through it together?
I think it was communication. When it happened, I just hit rock bottom. Rock bottom. I felt terrible.
How was it? This gives our listeners more context.
We were in the pandemic and we obviously wanted to be parents. It was always our dream. We had already talked about it. A very wanted baby, obviously. And we were kind of struggling a little bit with it. When it happened, obviously the excitement, the fairy tale was coming true, right? But when we went to the doctor, we didn't hear the heartbeat. And my world fell apart. Right now, I'm going to speak for myself, okay? It fell apart for me. So I just stayed in bed. I didn't want to do anything at all. They did a curettage. It was during the pandemic. No one could enter the hospital, not even him. Everyone was all covered up. I felt like I was in a dream. In a bad dream, more like a nightmare. So when I got home, I had already had many really bad days. So one time he sat down with me and said, maybe I will never understand what you're feeling, never, because that motherly connection. Well, from what I've read and from what I've heard, it's something that can't even be talked about or explained. But I just want you to know that I had that dream too. And I also want you to know that I lost a baby too. I want you to know that my dream was also to be a dad and that I'm broken too. So, when you talk to me badly, treat me badly, and want me to understand that you want to cry. Me too. I'm here and I'm going to comfort you and hug you and give you whatever you need. But I just want to remind you that I'm by your side and feeling the same way. And me? Well, I think maybe we never really step back and ask, what is the other person feeling? Because yes, obviously as a mom you feel differently, but it's true. He also lost a child. He also lost a baby. You can't minimize the man's feelings, so I think that brought us together like never before. In any situation, I always think, what is he feeling? Well, this time, maybe it was my issue, but it was something for both of us. So that was very important to me, and I always remind moms and dads who lose a baby, always turn to each other, hug each other, comfort each other, ask, what are you feeling? How are you? Maybe it's stronger, maybe as a woman, to feel it and live it, but in our hearts and minds, I think we're both the same.
Empathy and compassion, right?
That's it.
That apparently really woke you up at that moment. You were at the center of that crisis, clearly as the mother you were going to be, and you forgot that there was someone by your side.
I left. I didn't even look back. I didn't ask, how are you? Not at all. I didn't even remember. It was like, I'm sad. Nobody talked to me. So I think we forget about that, and in a lot of things, and I think also as men, I don't know if I'm just making this up. If someone loses, the man loses a business. Yes, you're sad. Yes, you're angry. But what does your wife feel?
That.
Because we're a team and I also feel terrible and I also feel, how can I help you? So I think that empathy, like you said, is what can help a relationship grow and become stronger in any kind of situation.
And how did you take those first steps? Once you already had empathy and were connected on that level, I imagine it was a process for you to let go of that loss,
Yes.
to want to be a mom again.
Look, I think Wally has helped me a lot with that. I'm a little more, I don't know if that's how you say it, but I tend to be more depressive, you know? And he's the opposite, like shake it off and get going. Lying in bed for 3 days? What are you talking about? Get up, let's go. I was crying, but what do you mean? Fine, let's just go. I think that has really helped me to heal and to be able to say, okay, let's go.
Okay, but it's not that you repress it, it's just that you simply focus your attention and your energy instead of suffering on living.
It's just that my mind is very dramatic. Sometimes I cry about things that aren't even happening. So I lost it. I'll never be a mom, never again. And it's horrible, and nothing will ever make me happy because I'll never be able to live happily again. And you're like, huh? What are you talking about? It's not happening. Let's go.
Yes, there's a writer I really like. His name is Mark Manson, the one who wrote The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And in one of the videos or something I saw of him, he says that I don't know if it's his idea or someone else's theory. But he says that there are two kinds of pain in a situation like this. The first is the pain, for example, of loss. It's a real pain.
Yes, that happened.
Real, that happened. But then another pain comes which is even stronger. It's the whole story you tell yourself.
That's worse.
And that's even worse. What were you telling yourself, and when did you realize you needed to change that narrative? Because I assure you there are many women and men as well who are going through that right now. And I think it would be very helpful for them to know what it's like and how you can overcome that.
I mean, what works for me is to take a step back. What's happening right now? I lost the baby. They did the curettage. I'm crying because I feel very sad, but the rest isn't happening. You can grieve. But as I've always told the moms who ask me, it's not a grief you get over. It's not a grief that goes away. You learn to live with that pain. Sometimes I cry talking about this. Other times I don't. They're just moments in life. But, well, I think that, I lost my train of thought.
I mean, how do you... You said, I take a step back, I observe what's happening.
I take a step back. I observe what's happening. This is happening. This is what I feel. Sometimes even when my husband says, let's go, at night he knows if I get like this and cry, I haven't healed yet. He hugs and comforts me, telling me to cry as much as I need. And the next day it's like, now there's peace. But I've already learned to separate the stories my mind creates. And that's when I say, I have to go to my psychologist and tell her, look, I'm crying because my mind says I'm never going to be a mom. And it's like, huh? So I start working on what my mind thinks, and then I realize that, well, it's not real.
There's a hack that's backed by cognitive behavioral therapy, which I really like to remember, and it's just because you think it doesn't mean it's true.
Exactly.
No, it's not reality just because you think it. So, I think that's great advice. From experience, what you're saying is take a step back, observe yourself from outside the box as if you were a spectator of your own life. Recognize what is real versus imagined. As I always say, your thoughts shape your feelings guide your actions, and your actions determine your outcomes. So, try not to repress, avoid, ignore, or minimize your emotions or thoughts and everything. But do what Jime recommends, what she did herself, which is to be a little more objective and give the real things the pain and tears they actually deserve.
Exactly.
But let all the imaginary stuff go, right?
Exactly.
Because...
But it's not just with sad things, right? We as well, as moms, those of us who, I'm sure there are many like me, even just to take a trip. What am I going to pack? I can't do it. The kid will run off at the airport. If I forget something, he'll have an accident and ruin his clothes. When I realize nothing is really happening and I'm just imagining it, I end up feeling anxious.
You fall into anxiety?
Into anxiety. I don't want to travel anymore. I don't want to pack my suitcase. I have 3 suitcases for a 10-month-old baby. You think, seriously? So even for things like that, you have to step back. Absolutely nothing is happening.
I love it. Now, we're still in a lot of adjustments and talks and things. The kids arrived. How many do you have?
2.
2.
One is 2 years old and the other is 10 months old.
Perfect.
9 months.
We confirm that the possibility of becoming a mom is not over. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Now, After this resilience of becoming a mom, you start facing other adjustments. The rhythm of the children comes.
Worse?
In many cases, they start to lose themselves as a couple because they're being parents, and they also lose themselves as individuals because it's all day. I'm a dad and I'm a mom. I no longer take care of my relationship issues, and I don't take care of my own issues. I forget about myself and my relationship. Did you experience that? How did you handle it? What happened?
Look, first, the whole thing about being a mom, just having a child is what's next? Where's the manual? Where do I buy it? At what store? Friends, tell me about it. And well, every friend, every person, anyone on social media, we all have a different story, a different truth. Nothing is right, nothing is wrong. You as a mom, you're perfect, right? So, but until that really sinks in, until you can say, yes, it's true. Whatever I choose for my children is right. I started making up stories now with my kids.
Okay.
Worse?
Worse?
Worse? The first time my baby, when Mateo, who's 2 years old now, was, maybe 10 months old, he got COVID. Just imagine, picture my state of mind. I was already in the emergency room, collapsed, telling the doctor to do everything they could, and I was already, even the doctor was like, but he's fine. And I was like, no, 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 because you see the news and you hear what they say and you see that it's not. Don't Google, don't go online. That's not a good doctor. No, no, everything is terrible.
Yes.
I think it's in our heads as moms. I remember I used to cry, even just for a regular cold. I would cry in bed, holding him, crying and crying. And my husband would ask me, what's wrong? And I would say, it's just that I never want him to feel bad. Never. And I cry over and over. Please, dear God, let me feel what he's feeling. I'll take whatever you want. He'd tell me, of course not. He needs you to be okay too. So relax. It's fine. He already has the medicine. And I was like, oh, right. Oh, right. So little by little, I've kind of been...
letting go.
Well, kind of letting go. So, well, then Loretta arrives. My baby Loretta is 9 months old. And my husband was the one who sat down with me and said, I think that, well, we are... Well, hello, nice to meet you. How are you? Everything good? What's up?
We've disconnected.
I'm good, just really busy. How are you? He said he's also really busy. You distance yourself, but not really. You're fine with him, but when it comes to depth...
Uh-huh.
You say, no, my free time is for resting. I want to sleep. So recently...
It's like they stopped watering the plant.
You stop watering the plant because you take it for granted and spend time with him since the child is here.
That really takes its toll, doesn't it?
No, of course.
In what way?
You see it as spending time together, but we're not really... We do spend a lot of time together during the day when he gets home from work.
Uh-huh.
Mateo is here and we're watching his movie.
Yeah.
And suddenly we kind of hold hands over the top like, but well, here we are, so we're hanging out. So recently, my birthday was on Wednesday. And he says to me, hey, let's go. I want to take you on a trip. And I'm like, huh? Why? Where to? No, well, I want to take you. Let's go to Las Vegas to spend your birthday alone, just us and I, and the... Why? What are you talking about? How? I'm starting to get heart palpitations.
Nervousness.
But you're right, but what are you talking about? And the babies? So he tells me, no, well, let my mom come. We'll fly your mom in, my mom, whoever can make it, because we don't have family in Mexico.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, yes, my love, of course. But, tied down, right? Yeah, that's nice, but no, I don't want that. But I would talk myself through it, like it's necessary. I think it's necessary. And he told me in a really sweet way, but I feel like it was kind of a cry of, we need to reconnect. I think we need to reconnect. We're excellent parents. We're really present and nothing at all will happen if we leave. So I kept repeating it to myself. Nothing at all will happen. The kids are fine. Thankfully, my mom was able to come to Mexico after making arrangements. On the plane, just like, super tense. But then I started to see, oh, I don't have the diaper bag. Oh, I'm free. I can sleep. I can put on headphones and watch a movie. So even both of us started acting like teenagers. I think it's the first time that we were able to disconnect. We went to the Backstreet Boys concert. Picture me singing wildly and crying at the concert. He asked if I was crying for the kids or the Backstreet Boys. I said Backstreet Boys because I loved him. So, years ago, I normally don't drink, but that's when puberty hit me. Just imagine, I asked him for a drink and he was like, and I said, "You brought me here, now get me out, but now I don't want to leave anymore." We enjoyed it so much, we connected as a couple, we talked a lot.
Did things flow naturally, or were you both nervous like when you first started dating?
Even at a friend's birthday, I'd set up the camera on the monitor here.
Ah, yeah, typical, everything all over again.
I mean, I couldn't. And suddenly, at the concert, they're fine, everything's fine, don't make up stories, everything's perfect. Suddenly, he texted my mom asking if everything was okay. She replied yes, and he said everything was fine. So I think we enjoyed it way too much. When we arrived, it was like, you walk through the kitchen like, "I love you."
Uh-huh.
And it's already different.
It's like it got renewed.
It got renewed, like a teenager again. I get up and straighten my hair, like a teenager again, and I think it's super necessary, and you don't even realize it.
Super necessary.
I hear it.
I'm not a dad yet, soon will be trying.
I hope so, that's great.
Thank you so much. And we know what's coming and we know it's natural, but it's also important to bring it up again because I see that, yes, there are many women and men who dedicate themselves to being moms and dads. The man is in the office all day with the anxiety of having to provide because of the expenses. I can't take it anymore. And she, as you mentioned, is also dealing with all these worries. And you stop enjoying these little things, this complicity we talked about, this spark, these conversations, these plans for the two of you, and not just as a couple, but also you as a person. What do you do to take care of your routine, whatever it may be, even if there's no gym? What are your non-negotiables for yourself? Like you tell yourself my morning coffee, or what things make you happy that you're defending more and more?
My morning coffee. In the kids' playroom, with them.
Okay.
Them on top, but I like this. Delicious because I want to, right?
Of course.
When my time to take a shower, my skincare and all that, and my little music, nobody talks to me. Priceless. Nothing. Sometimes they call me mom. I do hear it, but I don't really hear it. I'm fine. Everything is perfect. Yes, I stopped taking care of myself a lot, but with things that I don't care about anymore.
Okay.
Before, it was just things like getting my nails done and other random stuff.
Yeah.
But they made me happy too. So, also suddenly my husband is like, "If you want, go get your nails done, go ahead." And I'm like, "But it's an hour and a half." And he says, and he worries about me a lot in the sense that we have, thank God, a really good support network at home. My husband is always like, "Nanita is there, but you always want to be there too." He worries like, "Are you okay like this? Are you okay with Nanita? Do you want support? What do you need to feel comfortable getting your nails done?" And me, relax, but I can, but I don't want to. Right now, I don't want to.
From what I see, Wally, just like you, they're very present as mom and dad.
Very present.
It's not as if one is gone all day. They also started being a couple again, right? And from what I understand, they're also starting to get back to being individuals with their own little likes and individual hobbies and little things that make them happy.
Look, something we were just talking about. He doesn't come to ask for my permission, but he says, "Honey, what do you think if I go play golf with my friends on Friday?" What do you think?
Yes, if there's something that bothers you.
Yeah, we have something. He always asks me, "Do we have anything on Friday?" No. How about if I go play golf with my friends? Go ahead, as he returns refreshed.
Of course.
And my love, today I played badly, and I think, as you say, also getting out of your routine. Because he knows he can do it daily, knows I've never had issues with anything, and has the freedom to do it. He's also a dad who wants to be there.
Of course, and to have conversations beyond just the kids.
Exactly. Also,
I imagine there comes a point where all you talk about, even at dinner, is, "So what's happening with the baby?"
how did you see Mateo this morning? Good.
Yeah.
Yes, I think the fact that there are some friends of his or men who, "No, I'm not gonna, excuse me, I'm leaving on Friday, but that's not it." No.
No, it's not about asking for permission. It's about understanding with emotional responsibility that what you do impacts the other person or the family plans or the system in general.
But he always leaves thinking about me. "I'm not going to tell you, honey, my love." No. He knows that it gives me peace when he checks in, because when I hear an ambulance, I think, that's it. He's in the hospital. I'm already freaking out. I mean, he already knows. He also understands how my mind works. So he can go play golf and then go out with friends for a drink. My love, here we are. Oh, my love, we're still here. Perfect. As long as I see that, everything's fine.
Of course, and it's really great. Look, just recently I was with my friends. Now that I'm married, I'm starting to understand guys' night on Thursdays like it's your valuable way to unwind and talk about just guy stuff, silly things, because you need that more relaxed side a little bit, just like you said. And you've got the date nights with your wife covered, but also the life project. And well, this part is something that nourishes you in some way, right? It entertains you, it gives you joy, and it gives you some gossip to share with your wife. So I was there, I'd had 2 whiskeys, I started to get hungry. I was with my friends at the restaurant, and I said to Karen, I said, hey, do you feel like having some tacos? Let's go get some tacos right now. She says to me, yeah, that sounds great, but she says, my love, it's early, stay with your friends, you hardly ever go out, enjoy yourself, don't feel pressured. It's like she could tell in a way that I was feeling some kind of obligation or guilt or something, you know. I felt at peace, Jime. I said, she's right.
If she had said yes, let's go, you would have been happy too.
Happy. But the fact that she said that validates that I can also take care of myself and not lose certain things that I like just because I'm in a relationship.
Exactly.
And that's where all of this starts to make sense. Because these adjustments, if we communicate them well, with empathy, with compassion, with the desire to build, with effective responsibility, and all of this, and good communication, as you said yourself, then the team grows,
That
people expand, and the family can be a healthy family. Having, as I mentioned before, a man who is a present father, but is also a man, and in addition is also a partner, and a woman who is a mother, a woman, and a partner. Complete people, being a very strong team. Let me clarify, since people today believe having one thing means giving up everything else.
No, you also have to compromise on many things. I don't know, we went on a trip for his birthday about a year ago, and he asked me, what do you want to do? We're in New York, what do you want to do? Let's go to Broadway. I told him, no, what do you want to do? No, he said, if it's up to me, we should go to a football or baseball game, and I agreed. What? Every day we went to hockey, to basketball, to baseball. I had a blast, I told him. The only thing I ask is that if I don't understand, explain it to me. I said, what happened? Everyone shouted, what happened? So I think I learned too much about sports. We went to everything. To everything. I had so much fun. And I would just look at his face like a teenager, happy, enjoying what he really loves. If I invite him to the theater, he just says, let's go, that's great. But it's about giving in and not just closing yourself off like, oh, honey, seriously, sports? Seriously?
Yes,
So we did what he loves.
exactly. Less ego, more empathy.
We just went to Las Vegas to see the Backstreet Boys. He tells me, I know too, but there you saw him dancing and dancing with me. And I say, it's part of...
In the end, I think a key word in relationships and in beautiful love, Jime, is sharing.
Yes,
We don't have to be the same. We have to learn to share and be in harmony with all our differences. And I think that can be a beautiful goal to build and achieve when you are with that person who becomes not just a mirror like your first boyfriends, your first relationships, who come to reflect you a lot, but also becomes, besides a mirror, of course, a team. But for that, you need to go through a lot of conversations, a lot of things to give up, a lot of adjustments, and everything we've been talking about. So I want to thank you for being here truly.
thank you very much.
Very light, but very nutritious, everything we talked about. I hope that those of you who listened to us and watched us enjoyed it as well. If so, please let us know what you took away, what you're going through, what questions you would like to ask our guests. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any, or send this to someone who might find it useful. Jime, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I'm grateful to you and I hope to see you soon, wishing you all the success as a person, as a partner, as a family, and that you keep bringing a lot of value.
Thank you very much.
See you in the next episode. Thank you.
A production by Troop.